I'm Marcy Barron, and this is Mondays with Marcy. I'm your homeward bound guide to everything 5D living. I can't wait to share with you tips and tools to guide your personal transformation so that you can live a life that thrills you. Hello, and welcome to this week's Mondays with Marcy. I am Marcy Barron, your host, and this is our last chakra in our exploration of the chakras that we are going to learn about. So this is our seventh chakra, our crown chakra. It is our connection to everyone and everything. It is literally the ability to be fully connected spiritually. It is our crown. And what's interesting about the crown chakra is the monarchy, the kings and the queens always wore a crown to signify that they had the connection to God, source, universe, all that is higher power. And we know that is just not true. Everyone has a direct connection. So its location is at the very top of the head. The emotional issues is about our connection to spirituality. It is around whether we feel that we are connected to everyone and everything, or we feel that we aren't. And its essence is pure bliss when you're fully open in your crown chakra and enlightened, right? That enlightened being like the Buddha. The color is violet. Its element is thought. There is no animal totem. The organ and body parts are the upper brain, the hypothalamus, and the pituitary glands. And again, it's our ability to be fully connected spiritually. So let's check in. If your crown chakra is closed, you feel no connection or guidance from a higher power. You might feel unworthy of spiritual help, and you might be angry that your higher power has abandoned you. And we see a lot of that in conditioning around formal religion. And you suffer from migraines and tension headaches. So there's like a lot of pressure in the head, and that's because you're constantly living in your head instead of surrendering and asking and opening to all of the guidance that is there for us to lean on. Your crown chakra is open if you feel connected to a higher power and that you're being watched over and cared for. So there's really a sense of care and love and connection to your higher power, your angels, your guides. You know that you deserve and are worthy of immense blessings. There's no anger at your higher power for that you're like being looked over, if you will. And you feel immense gratitude for the universal love and appreciation you feel towards yourself and others. There is no separation. And that's, again, what's happening on the planet. There's so much of this right versus wrong, people pointing fingers and projecting anger. And what people don't realize is that we are all one. We are all one. We come from source. We return to source. When you take a drop from the ocean, it is still the ocean. And there is no separation. And through the law of quantum physics, it really shows that there's no separation. And I might talk more about that in another podcast. But again, this is something that was new to me. I grew up in a secular Jewish family. I did believe in God, but I had that concept of some sort of male deity in the sky. And my Judaism was more about eating. Like I called myself an eating Jew now. And as my connection to source, God, universe, it came online when my son died. Because I was like, kept looking up and asking for answers and connection and signs and trying to reconcile all of the pain and grief in my heart. So it was through that opening then I really started asking and praying and connecting. So let's see where your crown chakra is. Do you have a lack of faith that there is a benevolent force out there, if you will, supporting you on your path, and many benevolent sources, angels, guides? Are you very sensitive to sound? So sometimes that's indicative of a very open crown chakra. Like it could be really sometimes uncomfortable. People who are open to spirit and energies in other forms and don't have boundaries. A really good example of this is Teresa Caputo, the Long Island medium, and she would have so much anxiety and she like so sensitive to sound because her crown chakra was blown open, but she didn't know how to manage that. Are you constantly overthinking? Are you cynical? Is there confusion? Epilepsy is a sign of a crown chakra imbalance. Some people have spiritual addictions and they spiritually bypass. It's like, oh, love and light, and oh, there's not that ability to go deep into the shadow, into the pain, into the reality of their bodies and their being. And that is indicative actually of a crown chakra imbalance. And again, there's a lot of spiritual bypassing going on out there. And anyone who knows the work that I do, we do not bypass. Any learning difficulties, again, things in the brain, the dizziness, the depression, also just feeling like really apathetic. So people who are depressed and apathetic, they don't have that sense of faith. They don't have that trust. Again, that's sensitive to light. So sensitive to sound and sensitive to light, like to a point where it's really taxing, is a crown chakra imbalance. Dementia is a crown chakra imbalance. And again, just really not feeling connected to anyone and everything. When you're pointing the finger at your fellow person in the world, it is indicative that you don't realize that we're all one. And I've talked about this on an earlier podcast. The goal is to come into 0 point. It's not good or bad. It just is. And there's this law, this theory, this understanding of the both and. So, for example, yes, we can be both beings of light and eternal souls and connected to all that is, and we can feel our humanity and the pain of our physical being, of our inner child, of anything that feels really uncomfortable in this 3D experience. It's the both and. And people who have an open crown chakra understand that both of those things can exist without making somebody wrong for it. So again, I have a lot of, and come to have a lot of compassion for people because I'm able to zoom out and go, oh, I see what's going on with that person. They are coming from a place of pain and suffering. And all of us are really doing the best we can with what we know and where we're at. And again, if everybody could have that compassion and that curiosity, I talk about compassion and curiosity a lot, it would be a much more balanced place of being in our bodies, in this existence on this earth plane. Okay, so your crown chakra, again, for some people, it's really easy to go up and out and connect. And for other people, it's just not. So I want to just do a little exercise. So I want you to just take your hand and literally pretend this is like the scoop and dump. And I want you to just literally like pretend like you're pulling weeds out of your head. You're literally just pulling the weeds out of your head. And you're clearing the energetic debris of what's holding on or what's blocking your crown chakra. And so just literally scoop and dump and pull it out. And I just want you to know too that meditation and breath work are the most incredible ways to open up your crown chakra. You're able to reach altered states of consciousness, and then you can really leave your body and see and feel and be in that 0 point. All right, so as you're pulling out, I want you to just place your hand on the top of your head. And if it feels good, just move your hand like if you were rubbing your belly, but like you're rubbing the top of your head. So just repeat after me to imprint in our crown chakras. I am complete. I am significant. I am worthy of love from divine energy. The universe is kind and loving. I am an extension of the universe. I trust that I am loved completely and unconditionally. It is safe to receive divine guidance. I receive guidance from my angels, spirit guides, and source. I am connected to my higher self. I am my spiritual truth. I am perfect the way that I am and the way that the Creator created me. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And now just place your hands on your head for a minute. And just hold this space. And now when your hand's on your head, I want you to just literally like pretend like you're pulling back your scalp, like opening it up, pulling it back, pulling it back, pulling it back. And just breathe now in through the top of your head. And let it out. 2 more breaths in through the top of the head. And let it out. Last one, in through the top of the head. And let it out. And take your fingers and just like little raindrops, tap, 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 tap the top of your head. And just now, take your presence and literally bring your awareness all the way up, 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 all the way up. Bring your consciousness all the way up. And just notice for a minute. As you bring your consciousness up, your head might start to tingle, you might start to get chills, you might not feel anything, but just notice. It's all good. And just take one more breath and let it out. Beautiful. So this was just a little quick crown chakra opening and little information, little digestible bits of information. I am thinking about inviting guests, and that is going to be coming soon. I am going to see how much more I want to just riff and speak about what is in my brain, and I know that I am going to be starting inviting guests on to talk about what they're interested in, what their areas of expertise are, and have those conversations. So if you know of someone that would be a good guest, please send me an email, marcy@marcybaronclears.com. And also, there's going to be a crown chakra healing meditation linked in the show notes for you to do on YouTube. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day. Bye. That's it for this week's episode of Mondays with Marcy. Be sure to subscribe to my newsletter at marcybaronclears.com. I also would love for you to follow me on your favorite podcasting app so that you don't miss a single episode. I'm Marcy Baron, and thanks for listening. I am so grateful you are here.